Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. This is Mr. Rowe. We're taking a look at Algebra 2A. This is lesson 16. We're going to focus on numbers 1 through 4. All of these problems will be direct or inverse variation. So before we get started, we're going to take a look at what direct and inverse variation are. So let's take a look at direct variation right here. So anytime you hear the word direct variation or you see the word direct, this is the equation you should think of. And that would be y equals kx. Now, what is k? K is the constant of variation. So that's how it's going to vary. And then we have inverse variation. So when something varies inversely, this is the equation you should think of. You see the difference in the two? In direct variation, it is a linear relationship. Something's going to happen to one variable to equal the other variation. It'll just be multiplication with some kind of number, any rational number. For inverse variation, there is a fractional relationship. So y equals k divided by x. So make sure right away when you see the word inverse or the word direct, those are the equations you're thinking of to start with. So let's take a look at some similar examples here. So this would be like number 1. It says if R varies directly as B. So let's stop right there and talk about what we got to do with that. It says if R varies directly as B, we're going to make the word vary an equal sign. And so our equation, our base equation, will be R equals K times B. Use the variables in the order they are given. Now, in this instance, we're trying to find the constant of variation. So the next part kind of tells us how we're going to do that. It tells us R is 16 when B is 64. So we're going to substitute those values in. So it says R is 16 when B is 64. Find the constant of variation. So all I'm asked to do here is to find K. So this is a one-step equation. I'm going to divide both sides by 64. And please don't make the mistake of doing 64 divided by 16. This is 16 over 64, so the final answer will be a fraction. And this does reduce to 1/4. So that is how you find the constant of variation. All right, let's take a look at one like number 2. This one says x varies directly as y. So again, x varies directly as y. Important that you write them in that order. Don't mix them up, and just because you know y usually goes first. So this would be x equals k times y. So then it says if x is 10 when y is 60. So that always helps you find what k is. You're going to use that to find k. So it says x is 10 when y is 60. And once you substitute here, you can simplify or you can solve the equation to find k. So to find k here, we're going to divide both sides by 60. And so k will equal, again, be very careful. Don't make the mistake of doing 60 divided by 10 to get 6. This is 10 over 60, which reduces to 1/6. Now, we're not done here. That's just the first part of this particular problem. It asks you to find y when x is 7. So we're going to go back and we're going to create the actual direct variation equation here, which would be x equals, k is 1/6, times y. And we're going to substitute what we know. We know that x is 7. So we're going to replace x with 7. We're going to solve for y by multiplying both sides by 6. And so y will equal 42. So you have to do both of these steps. This is the first step, and then this is the second step, or the second part. All right, let's take a look at the next, or one like number 3. So this one says y varies inversely. Again, let this be equals, remember inverse variation, y equals k divided by x. And it says here, y is 8 when x is 7. So substitute, y is 8 when x is 7. Find k. So this is just a simple one-step problem. We're going to multiply both sides by 7. And then k will equal 56. And that's all you got to do there, folks. And finally, one like number 4. This is another inverse variation problem. Again, we're going to let the word vary be the equal sign. It says y varies inversely with x. And k is 0.042. So we're told what k is. So we can actually write the equation. And it says find x when y is 12. So we're going to replace y with 12. Now, this is the problem that gives most people a hard time because they don't realize it's a two-step equation. This one actually requires you to do 2 steps here. And you can set it up like a proportion. Let's do it like that. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to put this over 1. And so now I have a proportion I can solve by taking cross products. And so what we end up here, we get x times 12, which is 12x, equals 1 times 0.42, which is 0.42. And now we solve for x by dividing by 12. And if you aren't sure what to do here, pull out your calculator. And 0.42 divided by 12, it's going to be a smaller number. So the x is 0.035. So hope this helps you with this part of the lesson. If you still need some more help, please make an appointment for a help session or let me know in a teacher message.